that as being a hotel.
No, I mean, yeah, hotel's the call out, yeah. We see Lucio playing a concert too. He would have loved LA.
Yeah. Looks like a pretty nice hotel. I reckon this would be a nice area to stay in.
Yeah. Right next to the studios. We know that you're a fan of being in the studio.
I am. I'm in here every day, it seems like. Anyway.
So it will be a 3-3 versus 3-3 matchup. August will be playing the Baptiste, something San Francisco Shock used to use a fair bit. Warriors, are they going to swap composition? No, they look like they've just flushed out the flanks and now they're on their way.
I do enjoy a bit of the Batiste, but how much is Mindfreak going to enjoy it? Well, Bus is committed to the drop to supports to stay up on the high ground. It's pretty important as Batiste to actually have the high ground. That's why he's stayed up there, get those right clicks on a little bit easier. Now the commitment here from Modern, we get some hammer on hammer action, and perhaps it's the big hammer that's going to be a little bit more impactful than the Bus. Kunmangchi is how you say it in Korean. Modern will be certainly happy about the start to this particular map, as Warriors have really steamrolled through Mindfreak.
Yeah, they ran through them, and that's really the strengths of the Brigade to 3-3. They can get right up in the face of the enemy Reinhardt, get that stun and make him very vulnerable to all sides of attack. Unfortunately, August not able to save his buddy Reinhardt there, so he will swap off to the Brigitte, and now we'll have this matchup that I thought we were going to see on Hollywood. See, Huss closing on that Graviton Surge, though, that's going to be a key. But Roro, with the rally aggression that he has, the advantage, I mean, this fight is it should be very, very simple for the side of the Warriors.
It's not going to be a fun one for Mindfreak. I guess for Warriors, they'd want to try and hang on to as many ults as they can. Earthshatter looks to be held here by Modern as he just swings away with the hammer, continuing to put in the good work that he did on point A. Pretty clean wipe. Mindfreak not really wasting too much of Warriors' time, and in fact, I think that's actually a bit more beneficial for Warriors than anything else, because sure, they waste, okay, maybe 15 seconds, but look at the ultimates that are available now.
Yeah, Warriors with the Dream Fight, only having to use the Rally, one of the more expendable ults in this composition, to win that fight. And now they have a plethora of ults to just go forward and win the next fight. And the next fight is going to be an important one. It will be a really risky touch if Mindfreak decide to lose this fight and go for the next one.
I don't know that they'll have much of an opportunity of that. Graviton Surge from Huss. The self-destruct is here as well. That one from Mindfreak doesn't do a whole lot. A good shatter down from Modern. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it was Bust that gets a better one, as Tung and Roro both on the floor do get finished off, and Tung wasn't unfortunately able to use that Transcendence. Somehow Mindfreak have actually clutched a fight victory from what looked to be an unwinnable position.
Yeah, it looked to be a very rough position, going in an ultimate disadvantage, but they managed to sustain through the Graviton Surge from Huss and the Diva one from Noz, and then turn the fight off the back of the Earthshatter from Bus. The patient Reinhardt is often the one that prevails. Waiting for that...
Some wisdom from Smash.
Yeah, waiting for that shield to go down from Modern so you can get the Earthshatter in, really prevent the enemy team from pushing forward. That's what turns the fight.
Patient Reinhardt is the Reinhardt that prevails. There we go. Well, perhaps we will get to see that in a couple of fights' time. Maybe not this one, as the Earthshatters are not available. Grav still needs to be charged by Huss as well. Modern will drop even despite the Transcendence from Tung, whether it came out too late or didn't do enough. Doesn't really matter. Mindfreak, again, are going to be able to push Warriors back. This is not how I saw Phase B of the map going after that first fight we saw beneath the gate.
No, and committing both the Rally and the Transcendence, that fight on the side of the Warriors, you thought they would have a little bit more sustain, but Modern caught a bit too far forward, I believe, and this will set the Mindfreak squad up into a good position where Addy can get nice spam as they come in pushing here. I think the Mindfreak will be very, very happy with how this is going. They've got great ultimates for this next fight too. If they can just use buses, he's pushing hard, Swilko. You don't want to be in the face of Huss at the moment.
No, he's got a fair bit of energy as well, and I suppose the Diva's not going to be doing too much to challenge. There's a grab available for Huss, just waiting for the perfect opportunity. There it is, invested straight on top of the clump of Mindfreak players. Self-destruct is going to buy space though. Well done from Kiki, and Bust gets his counterpart once again. No more Bust stop this time. Noz demeched in the middle of the fight. And it's time for Warriors to just back away, cut their losses once again. It's a sense of deja vu.
Yeah, and only the Graviton Surge coming out from Huss there, so Warriors did manage to save a few ultimates, but unfortunately that Grav coming up really high in the sky meant that the boys couldn't get in there and do much damage to it. Good counter bomb there from Kiki to stop the aggression on the Warriors, from like collapsing on their Graviton Surge. So Mindfreak now, ultimate disadvantage. They need to draw out this fight and hope that Addy can build another fast Graviton Surge using this high ground.
You're desperately trying to build the self-destruct up. That was a key part of the defense for Mindfreak in the last fight, but going to need to have just about everything for Mindfreak in this one, because that's essentially what Warriors have got. Modern's pushing forward. Shatter's going to be blocked. Well done by Bus, but is it enough to save the fight here? No support ultimates, unfortunately, for Mindfreak. Means that Bus is going to go down early in the picture. Noz still hanging on to this self-destruct. It is going to be a rout by the looks of things, courtesy of Warriors. Mindfreak just won't be able to hang on long enough against the sheer weight of ultimates that Mindfreak had to deal with.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time off the clock. They went into that phase looking grim, and they managed to turn it into a pretty decent phase. You'd call it almost a phase win from the position they started off. But Addy will get staggered out here. That means that there's going to be some free push on the side of the Warriors, and they need it, because Noz not in a mech.
Yeah, he'll get there fairly shortly, to about 50%. You can see the Pilot Diva shots just spamming away in the direction of, well, the shield, which isn't too ideal, but
praying that Bus drops that shield for a moment, but
just need a couple of ticks, don't you? It's
yeah, you really do.
Not that much.
I'd like to see August just run at him in this middle of this fight and stop the D-Mech. Addy throws out a long grab here, and Bus is going to be able to get there to follow up. This will be a fight win on the side of the Mindfreak squad, as the Warriors choose not to invest anything.
When you know that there's no Diva, there's obviously no chance of the Graviton Surge being eaten, so definitely a long grab shot from Addy, but they make it work. It's not going to cost Warriors too much time. A good reset.
Very good reset, and now we are equal up, essentially. It'll be interesting to see who chooses to initiate first here. It can be either one of these teams. Both in decent positions to do it.
Plus does have the grab, so you would assume it could well be him. Oh, dearie me. What happened there, Bus? He saw Modern turn around. Modern threw the Shatter straight into the Brigitte, but turned his back to Bus, and he hits a very, very big Earth Shatter, which is going to win the fight for Mindfreak. Bit of a lapse in judgment there.
The patient Reinhardt strikes again. Bus has been doing that consistently now, when Modern's gone for the early Shatter to try and open up the fight, but Bus is counter-shattered very well. Plus on the flank here with this Graviton Surge, might be in for a big one, which would build Modern's Shatter back up straight away, pretty much.
There it is. Knows that Kiki's used up a lot of that defense matrix, so he's able to get the Graviton Surge through. Self-destruct does mean Mindfreak is going to cause Warriors to scatter. Now Noz will be demeched. He does not have a self-destruct to get back into the mech with. And Warriors still continue to push that payload forward. Jazz will invest the sound barrier as the Graviton Surge comes down from Mindfreak, and a small reset to the fight. It felt like the eye of the storm. Tung, though, opens up the second stage of it, getting the pick onto Swilko, and this is the dying straits, really, for the Warriors, as we're now into overtime, but they are finding the picks that they need, slowly but surely. That payload pushes forward.
Bus throws out a Hail Mary Shatter, unlike he's been playing recently on this map, so unfortunately it doesn't come off, and that was kind of the thing they were relying on. Kiki manages to get the touch. August coming in with the rally. Bus swaps to the ball. There's a little chance of turning here, but with the Graviton Surge from Haas, this should be the cleanup on the side. Tung and Noz still have their ultimates.
Yeah.
It looks
Unfortunately,
like
Aki, 94% of the Transcendence, isn't going to be able to get it up in time, and if he would have had that as Kiki touched the point, maybe there was something there for Mindfreak. Still, I don't think that's a terrible defensive round, actually, from Mindfreak. You'd be pretty happy with that.
No, it started off disastrously with that first fight going the way of Warriors, and they were able to clean up the second fight with only using a rally. Mindfreak managed to use their ultimates wisely and position on the high grounds very well to build up the ultimates back in time, so they managed to take off a lot of time on that second phase. And on the third phase, with Noz being out of mech, Addy shoots the long grab, gets big benefits from it. They're able to cycle those ults once more. Unfortunately, just falling at the final hurdle of this push, and Warriors will cap in overtime. This sets up a nice game, though. This means that if Mindfreak G can push with over a minute left, they'll get the free attack, essentially, to stop the draw, but if they don't, we could be heading to a 3-0 lead, or even a 2-0 lead with the series win, with the draw.
Yeah, I mean, a draw is good enough for Warriors at this point.
Certainly is, and it looks like they will be staying on the 3-3. Okay, this is more what I expected to see out of these two teams. Paris kind of threw a spanner in the works, but I was expecting to see 3-3, and I'm greeted with the 3-3. But as you can see in those maps, or this map so far, Mindfreak have looked a lot more comfortable on it, and it's been a good competition too. Very even fights, back and forth, a lot of ults used. You know, everyone's been playing really well.
Yeah, you just get into that situation though where, okay, you have a good competition, but is it quite enough? You know, there may still be a world in which this is a 4-0 for Warriors, and you know, a 4-0 on paper wouldn't be representative of how this series has gone so far, but sometimes that is how it actually does end up.
Sometimes it really do be like that. Modern now playing on the high ground. He tries to dive in, but he gets knocked straight in the air. Huss going very aggressive with his own personal bubble, and that will see August go down first.
Talk about going on to the low ground. I think he went up to the moon first, but he's managed to get himself grounded 2 feet on the ground, and a hammer for Mindfreak to greet them at point A. It goes quite similarly to Warriors' first fight on point A when they were on an attack, in that they win it quite cleanly. This time, however, obviously on the defense.
Yeah, it was an interesting rotation attempted by Mindfreak G there. They tried to go under the main stack of players, and Reinhardt can drop down like a whirlwind there and usually get some big damage off. Of course, he got knocked straight into the sky, but Huss, using that personal bubble, went very aggressive and managed to capitalize on it. As you can see, he's already up to 62% ultimate charge, so we could be seeing a Graviton surge in this fight. Again, same plan, same play, same result.
I mean, Huss doesn't even have to drop down this time. He's literally holding down that left click and murdering everyone.
Definitely is, showing why he is one of the best Zaryas in the region, as Kiki will not enjoy this. There's nowhere to jump off the map on Hollywood, no environmental kills, and it's a pet diva. Roro shows mercy though, manages to finish him off.
It's a pretty good stagger though.
Yeah, works out well. Takes a few seconds off the clock, but Mindfreak, they're really rotating into the arc, the swinging arc almost of the Warriors. Giving Huss the high ground is also dangerous. They need to rethink their approach here, I think.
Now with a little bit more in the tank, maybe that is the option for Mindfreak, although they're going to go again. Drop down from Warriors. You really do get a sense of deja vu. This time Mindfreak do not even get as far as they did on their first push. That is an absolute rout. Modern's gone all the way to spawn to try and spawn camp.
And you're seeing the strength of the Warriors at the moment. The coordination to, as soon as Modern goes in, Roro's in too. The external shield is there, the armor pack is there, and they're really banking on, you know, keeping Modern up to do massive amounts of damage. Zenyatta, Brigitte, they're very vulnerable heroes to this melee hit from Reinhardt. Can't shield against it, and if you're a Zenyatta, you don't want to be hit by it. Mindfreak G, now they're working out a new way of going about it. Rotating away from the high.
It's going to work though. Lots of ults for Warriors to play with. Modern with a Shatter, one of them to speak of. There's a Graviton surge. Shatter goes through for Modern, blocked by Bust. The self-destruct, not going to do too much damage. A little bit scary as Modern got booped, but Warriors seem to be okay for the moment. Huss will be chased down. The sound barrier, too late to save him, but does give the opportunity for Roro to go aggressive, push forward into Bust and take him down. And now with a main tank available for Warriors and not there for Mindfreak, maybe there is still a way that they can salvage this point hold. Addy is doing a lot of damage. Modern will shut that down, although he gets shut down himself. It's a trade, it's a 1-for-1, and that's favourable for Mindfreak at this point of the fight. Warriors are still doing a good job of hanging in here and buying as much time as possible as a D-Mech comes across onto Kiki and a kill as well. Roro with the rally up, doesn't get away.
No, but Huss has come back and he's got a bit of energy here too. Now there's a bit of a crossfire. Bust doesn't know where to look. He's getting shot from all angles. And the Warriors team have managed to consolidate here. They've got about 4 players, maybe 5. This is looking risky for Mindfreak. This is the Earth Shatter off. Whoever gets the bigger Shatter wins here, and Bust's shield is very low.
So is Modern's. He's down to about 600 HP on that one. Who has the bigger hammer? That's what I want to know. Is it Bust? Is it Modern? Who decides to take the opportunity first? It's Bust, and it's a great Shatter indeed. It'll be enough, surely, to get Mindfreak through this point. Modern has no ability now to Shatter. He's out of the picture. And unless someone else can clutch this one up for Warriors, oh well, Noz, he does eat the Graviton Surge of Addy, and Roro picks August. They might still be alive here.
Transcendence committed on the side of Mindfreak. Will try and store it up, but here comes the Graviton Surge out of Huss. He's got a good one. There's a lot of players in it, but there's no damage really. The Wrecking Ball's in for Modern, and he's managed to get 2 now on the side of the Warriors. It's going back and forth once more. Bust is the last man left on the point. It looks like he'll be going down fast to Roro, but no. In comes August. With this rally, he's managed to keep it up.
Kiki's there as well. Oh, he gets the kill on it as he tries to get back in the mech. All of a sudden, it turns back in the favor of Mindfreak, and Modern is pushed away. He's still there on the Wrecking Ball. There's a sound barrier. The DNF was cancelled. Now a rally available for Roro. Going to chuck that one in as well. Is it enough to keep that sustained for the Warriors? I can't believe how long this fight has been going for. Kiki's down now. The pile driver looks good from Modern. Sound barrier across from Mindfreak. Bust has a shatter. Surely that's the nail in the coffin. Surely that's enough for Mindfreak. I don't know that it is, though, as there's a minefield down now for Warriors. And, oh, goodness
Tongue
me.
comes in with the Transcendence to keep the fellas up, and now we're going Addy. Manages to dash into a mine. August now with the rally. Bust is going solo. He needs to stay alive here. He goes down. Kiki coming back on the Soldier. But it's too late. Warriors are getting all the picks, and Modern again with this Wrecking Ball has been putting so much work. Spilko goes down, August goes down, and this will be the end of the map. And Warriors will go up 3-0 after the longest fight I have seen in
Overwatch Contenders Australia. Yeah,
that's got to be one of the longest fights I have seen anywhere, let alone Australian Contenders.
I've not seen one that long either. I would love to go back and count how long that was. It felt like at least a minute and a half of overtime.
It definitely felt like a few players got a few too many ult cycles off there. August always seems to be coming back with a rally. Swilko dropped a few beats, I think. Modern coming in with those mines.
He had the Earth Shatter swapped onto the Wrecking Ball. Like, he had a full Earth Shatter. Decided, you know what, I've got to go Wrecking Ball to get there in time. Then builds a minefield in that fight as well. It's just insane how long that went. Oh, well, anyway, it went to Warriors, and like you say, 3-0, so a win on the board for them. But it's such a lie of a scoreline, isn't it, really? Because you see 3-0 on the board, you're like, oh, yeah, that's pretty clean for Warriors. But realistically, these maps have been pretty hard fought. It's just so unfortunate that for Mindfreak, they haven't been able to get themselves over that line in any of them.
Yeah, it's been really unfortunate for Mindfreak, actually. Even if you look at the point scoreline, you see that they got full held on Paris, they got full held on Hollywood, but those last fights have been so long. The last fight on Paris went for ages. Roro comes back on the Doomfist and clutches it up, and now on Hollywood, the fight goes on for ages, and Modern comes in with the Wrecking Ball and clutches it up. It's so unfortunate from the side of Mindfreak. They'll be a little bit disheartened, I guess, by this. It is hard to lose those games. When you're losing these really tight fights in the last bits of overtime, it can be really, upsetting, but hopefully they can show us something a bit special on Rialto, and they can take something out of this series. They deserve something.
I almost feel like it. Yeah, I feel like they deserve to get at least one map here, Mindfreak. But Warriors, they missed out on the 4-0 last week against Legacy. I think that's probably a mistake that they don't really want to make again, so they'll be looking for the 4-0 today against MF. That's not to say that MF won't have anything to say about this one, but gee, that last fight was something special.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cold in the studio here, but that's kind of warmed me up. I do enjoy having a look at the Wrecking Ball. It's one of my favorite heroes, and well, very impressive stuff indeed from Warriors. I mean, the tenacity to stay in the fight for that long and to be able to continue to come back. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, never give up, never surrender. They keep coming back. They're spewing onto the point. They've done it a few times now. I guess they really do favour their mechanical skill and the fight turning ability, and you've seen it now on a few maps. They've been able to do it, so it's no coincidence. They are quite talented individuals on the side of the Warriors. Rialto, I want to see some Addy versus Huss Widowmaker duels. We've seen a lot of Widowmaker duels this contender season so far, and Addy and Huss, both pretty prolific Widowmaker players. Huss had the most incredible Widow performance I've seen in the Australia World Cup trials last year.
Trials?
Yeah, with the trials situation that we had.
Oh.
He had the most incredible Widowmaker.
I can remember the Huss Widowmaker from Temple of Anubis in the actual World Cup last year.
Oh, yeah, we probably don't want to talk about that one, though.
No, that
was alright. He had a few moments, actually. He had one moment where he couldn't kill an Arno that we all had a bit of a giggle at.
No, I'm not talking about that.
You're talking where he popped off?
Yeah, I was talking where he popped off and basically saved the day for Australia and put us through to the next stage of the World Cup.
Yeah, into BlizzCon. Yep.
Yeah. I think that was the one I was talking about. Anyway.
Fond memories for Huss. I'm sure he'll love to relive those again this year's World Cup when it comes around. But now, no World Cup. It is all about this match. And can Warriors close it out with 4-0s?
Yeah, Huss is on Team New Zealand this time.
Yeah, it looks like he's on Team New Zealand.
Actually, how many New Zealanders are there in this Warriors roster? Like
just two.
Just Roro and Jungle.
Yeah, just Roro and Jungle.
So you got a Korean,
2 New Zealanders.
2 New Zealanders and 3 Aussies.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Tung is from Perth, so that's... We can still count that as Australian.
I mean, I guess. If you want to be. If you want to be considered Australian. You're from Perth.
I mean, all
so
the good
you tell
Overwatch
me.
players come from Perth anyway. I mean, you've got Trill and Gunbar, so...
Never heard of him.
Never heard of them? Okay.
No.
Well, they're the ones in the big leagues. Anyway,
Yeah,
3-3, 3-3.
3-3-3-3.
Let's
That's
see
12.
who can be the best mechanical Lucio and get some boops here. We haven't seen many boops in this season in Contenders. We saw Money go for one earlier and came up wanting. It looks like no one's going to go for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, not going to happen this time. Bust on the offensive, however. Just next to the payload. Enough damage being put in. And Swilko's got 2.
There we go.
There you go.
Swilko, up to 44% ult charge of that. Thank you. He'll enjoy that one. I think that will go into montage too, actually. But yeah, Mindfreak holding this early in this early corner means that they'll get early recontests again. We've seen that. Teams opting for that 3-fight strategy on this point. It can be quite a quite a pain to get over the top of this bridge too. You always have the threat of the Lucio coming in late and the knockoffs from Diva and Brigitte. As we see Modern getting aggressed on a little bit here.
Yeah, suffering some real damage. Swilko's gotten another boop. That one onto Hust. Did he knock him off? Did he just kill him with the boop? I don't know. Regardless, he's found 2 kills in this fight. That's what you want to see out from your Lucio. There goes Addy. It's the battle of the Lucios at this point. Who can get the better boops?
And Jungle's got 2 and he's got to go get the 3rd! Jungle gets 3 in the fight and that will be enough for the Warriors to get some push on this card, I think. Jungle has just outplayed there. He's got 3 big kills and you don't often see fights going on that side of the map, and that's why players don't really tend to stay around there because you end up in the cold waters.
Jeez. Well, that is a little bit disappointing for Mindfreak, but they're certainly going to be able to get back in time to recontest this point. A lot of ultimates across the board there for Mindfreak. In fact, it might well be a 6-ult fight if they need it. Maybe even the same can be said for Warriors. We know that Plus charges the Graviton Surges very quickly indeed. Yeah,
Plus can get a little bit of energy here. Playing on the high ground, this position can be quite good at building that energy, shooting over the top of the Ryan shield. It looks like he used his personal, didn't get a lot off it, so might take a little bit slower than we want. Warriors though, they're being patient. They're looking for the right opportunity to go in, and now they've found it.
Have they found it though? That is the question. Modern under a bit of pressure. Oh, the Shatter is good. Double support ult comes from Warriors as well as the Sound Barrier and the Transcendence were both invested at the same time. That may well come to cost them. Aki still hanging onto the Trance, and that might have been to his detriment because Swilko's Sound Barrier not coming quickly enough to keep him alive. Maybe there's a world in which Mindfreak can still salvage this fight. However, Hust is doing a huge amount of damage. He's got the Graviton Surge still available, and even despite the double ults coming out from Warriors, they'll win the fight. Oh,
you saw that beautiful Bash Shadow combination there from Bus and August, but because they double stacked on the side of the Warriors, that's what actually kept them alive. So probably the most fortunate double stack I've seen, but everyone gets the Fort Spawn from the side of Mindfreak here. Are they going to look to fight early?
They do have the Trance available to them. Warriors do not have anything really.
Bus has a Shadow coming up very soon, so if he can get over the top of Modern here and drop it, maybe one more Fire Strike will do it, but Huss is looking for a cheeky grab spot here. He does love to get these cheeky grabs, and he'll try and go for one here, I believe.
Oh, the boop. I don't know how they've all survived there. They're all up in the air for quite a long time. Bus does get a good Shatter across. Roro is going to lose his life as a result. Does anyone else fall here for Mindfreak or for Warriors? Well, Shatter down from Modern. Not sure that it connected onto a whole lot there. Bus did have his shield up, but Transcendence thrown in from Tung. It keeps all of Warriors alive, and no one from Mindfreak fell, so I have to imagine that Shatter didn't really connect.
August with the rally regroups with his team and now keeps them healthy, but they won't want... Yeah, exactly. Mindfreak won't want to hold there. It's very vulnerable to getting knocked off the side of the map by Jungle, playing on that left side high ground, I guess, you can call it if you're Mindfreak's perspective. So Mindfreak will go reset to this corner where it's a lot easier for Bus to play around the cart, a lot easier for him to micro his shield. Kiki tries to throw a bomb over the top here.
Not going to result in too much. Does force Warriors back just a little bit. Busters pushes the result as well. And Tung's been caught. They found him. He was sort of posed up on the balcony on his own, trying to get a crossfire angle into Mindfreak as they push along this street, but that is going to be much to the detriment. Oh, the boot was so close. Jungle trying his best, and Noz is going to be the one that goes off. A very quick shift, and he gets himself back on the bridge. but it still won't save the fight for Warriors. A good solid hold so far from Mindfreak here on Rialto.
And Huss sat on that high ground above them, dealing so much damage that whole fight. He's managed to build himself up another Graviton Surge. I'm surprised he didn't throw it out there at one point, but he did so much damage. And we see Tung and Huss trying to favor this high ground a lot to try and get those angles over the shield to bypass it, so they don't have to worry about breaking it if you just go over the top of it. Warriors now looking to use their ultimates to their advantage. No's going very low. He'll be forced to use the Diva Bomb here.
Doesn't really result in a whole lot. I think that was more to just get himself out. Somehow Kiki gets demeched, and that is going to open the door for Huss. Well, chances for Aki. Graviton Surge, a bit awkward here for Warriors to deal with. They're caught on two sides of the wall, but they survive. Now Jungle throws the sound barrier down. There's a stun across onto Noz and Roro. Probably from the Earth Shatter of Burst, but it's just not going to matter too much. It's Modern, the only player that'll fall for Warriors. Sooner or later, though, Noz also goes down.
Dangerous territory here now for the Warriors. They are very low on ultimates. Mindfreak have a very good spawn location here too, so this could be holdable for the side of Mindfreak. Is the fourth map curse coming out again for the Warriors?
Perhaps. Not really too many ults for Mindfreak to play with, though. Kiki is going to get into the mech.
If Huss can retain this high ground and gain some energy, this is going to be where he's on high energy now too, or medium energy, I'd say. So if he can get this Graviton Surge up before Mindfreak build a support ultimate, I think that will be the key, as Modern will be able to get into that and do big damage.
Could say the same about Addy, because
very true. Nobody's got a support ultimate.
Anything. Well, it's going to be Mindfreak on the offensive, and that is going to allow Addy to get the grav up first. Is he going to get it out first, though?
He's been caught.
He's isolated. He has to surely invest the Graviton Surge. He does. There's the follow-up there from Mindfreak. It looks like it is. It was a dire situation, but they've turned it around. They knew what they had to do. Well communicated from Addy, and well followed up on by Mindfreak. That could have just as easily gifted the second point over to Warriors.
Yeah, and we thought that they had caught Addy out, but in fact, Addy had actually caught them out. He had the Graviton Surge, he managed to wait out the Matrix from Noz and gets it off, puts it in the pillar, so it's very hard for the peel to come from the enemy team, or the team of the Warriors, so looking dicey, but
it's defendable.
It's defendable, but I'd put my money on Mindfreak here if they can get past that first point.
If you can get point, yeah, I mean, like point A is actually really tough to catch.
Yeah, it is very difficult to capture, especially if you get fights in the right locations as a defending team. It can be very easy to defend. Spewing in spawns across that bridge, it's a straight line, which means Reinhardt's can charge across there easily. Doomfist can punch across there easily. Balls can just swing in. You know, it's very easy to get back to very quickly.
Certainly the case. Well, you wouldn't want to go out of this one empty-handed as Mindfreak, because it would feel as though it's a bit of a disservice in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, Warriors would be hungry for a 4-0. We haven't seen many 4-0s in this Contenders season. Only, I think, the 3 or the 4 now? Was this a gelato shop?
Gelateria? Looks like it.
Yeah,
Alamia? Is that an M or an N or an IN? I don't know. Cursive, come on.
They don't teach you to read in WA, so don't ask me. I just saw the pretty picture.
It would not surprise me.
We just get taught how to play Overwatch real good.
Yeah, and do speckies.
Yeah, do speckies.
Yeah, hit a specky, bro.
Yeah, well.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, hit a specky.
That's pretty much my whole childhood, just in a nutshell. You've nailed it.
Nice.
You're bringing me back. We get a beautiful view of the canals here. We will see a beautiful view of the Mindfreak team comp, which will be 3-3-3-3.
Some more boops.
Squilko managed to get 2 good ones at the start. Let's see if Jungle can answer it. See aggression here, straight on the flank of Mindfreak. Modern pushed out very far, but Huss is returning damage here. He's up to 30% ult charge.
Tung!
But Tung, yes, he's getting all the final blows here. A great angle he's found, and that aim of his, it's razor sharp.
Razor sharp indeed, and Mindfreak have to back away. Alright, that's the ideal start for Warriors, isn't it? If you're going to hold for 4 minutes here on point A, you want to win 1 or 2 fights here at the
Tung's
bridge.
got another.
Oh.
Straight out of the spawn, Aki, put back straight back in there.
You love to see it.
You really do love to see it.
I love to.
You love to see Tung on fire, and he has been all night.
That's what happens when you eat chilies. Your tongue goes on fire.
That was awful. Put that away.
Yeah, put the chili away. No one wants any of that.
Oh, Aki
well.
returns fire, 1 for 1 though. You love to see that. Modern going very aggressive now off the
They
back
need
of
to
his
trade.
player we picked, and he Earth Shatter straight into Buster's shield, so Mindfreak will be able to consolidate here and get some good cart push unless Jungle pulls off something amazing. He has not.
Has not indeed. But look, not the end of the world here for Warriors. They can still defend at least one more time on point A.
Yeah, they will definitely be able to get a good offense. And here we go. Here's the tongue pop. Oh, poor Aki. He didn't see it coming.
Feels so good. Feels so good.
That's when you put in the chat 1-0. Just to let...
Well, it's 1-1 now.
It's 1-1 now, but just to let Aki know that you've got one up on him. Earth Shadow from Bus is going to be
MM1, dude.
key.
MM1.
MM1, that's it. August goes in aggressive with the rally. This is where he'll be looking to set up this Shadow. The stun comes out early, which means this Shadow should be free for Bus. He gets a big one!
I thought that I was going to be blocked because he took a little bit longer in that animation than you ordinarily would. It seemed he got booped, but even though Warriors all go on the floor, they actually still managed to hold this fight. They're going to continue the push forward, try to stagger Mindfreak, and they essentially force Mindfreak all the way back to their spawn.
Now the sweats comes to start from Mindfreak. This cart is in an awful position for them. It's actually the worst position it can be in. They have to get all the way to it without taking too much damage to build up the ults on the side of the Warriors, and then they have to win the fight cleanly, otherwise the stagger spawns are going to come in.
Well, Kiki does have a self-destruct, so that could be invested to just buy space to get onto the cart. Graviton Surge goes down early though from Hasta. He sees the opportunity onto Bus. He'll take advantage of it. There's everything being thrown in on both sides. Neither player's getting too low until the self-destruct goes across. It's Addy and Bus that'll cop the brunt of it. And Mindfreak will suffer a loss off the back of it.
Interestingly enough, Addy throws out the Graviton Surge and Tung holds his Transcendence. Maybe he didn't have it in time, but I think he did.
Well, he didn't need it, clearly.
Yeah, he didn't need it. And now Warriors going into the next fight with a big advantage.
Big brain.
This could honestly be the last fight, given this how difficult this point is to get back to, and the cart's in this position. This could be the last fight here, and it probably will.
I think it will be, especially considering, I mean, the fight hasn't even started, right? We're only at 45 seconds left. So by the time the fight is over, you'd be thinking maybe 10 seconds available for Warriors to defend. Worst case scenario, might well be over on the back of this fight. Still 30 seconds for Mindfreak, but they need to win this fight. They're not going to get another one. Tung's throwing in the Transcendence, and it does keep Warriors alive, but doesn't really give them much of an opportunity to find a pick. Modern on the offensive now, pushing forward. You see the bubbles come across onto Bus to keep him healed up, but that shield is getting low. So too is Modern, however, as he jumps right into the swing of Bus. Hust is there as well, getting August. It's a good shatter down from Bus, but the follow-up is not quite there from Mindfreak. Warriors might still find a way to hold this, particularly given the respawn advantage on this part of the map. Graviton Surge is there. They're trying to get the kills on the Swilko, but Transcendence is going to top everyone on Mindfreak back on up. Oz will have self-destruct shortly, but he's been hacked and might not actually be able to get it as he's demeched. No, he doesn't.
August swapping over to that Sombro, gets back in time to hack Noz, and that's one of the ults that they really needed for the Warriors to come back to hold this. So now, interesting. Okay, he swaps back to the Brigitte. Warriors have a nice ultimate bank here, but they lose 1 or 2 fights and the map could be over. Well, it could really only be 1 fight. Depends on how far they let the cart push here. Do they go for this early contest?
I don't think they can.
They're still waiting for Roro to come back on the Brigitte. Okay, he's just joined his team now. They are going to push in very aggressively. Addy comes out with the Graviton Surge though, and that will answer the aggression. Bus has built another Earth Shatter up off of this though. Warriors looking healthy on the side of the 2 support ults invested.
Tung still hanging on to Transcendence. That's the big support ult that you want available to you. Bus gets a shatter across. Has it really connected onto a whole lot of substance? I think not. Roro also has other ideas, getting 2 with the Brigitte, and all the supports chiming in here for Warriors. A killer piece on all of them. That's not a fun place to be.
Mindfreak found them themselves in a very unfun place underneath the team of the Warriors. The Warriors were looking down upon them. And they just managed to drop into the backline, drop into the Brigitte, or drop into the Zenyatta and do so much damage. You really don't want to be positioned below your enemies if you can avoid it. And again, you see, a Diva Bomb comes in on the bridge.
A pretty scary one as well. Swilko's going to drop. That wasn't to the Diva Bomb, but it was to Warriors.
And this bridge is a nightmare to cross if you're the side of Mindfreak. This is, again, they're getting stopped in positions that are so hard to take. And Warriors can reset onto that high ground and just spam across the bridge and choose exactly where they want to initiate. They can take so long. They can break the shield on the side of Mindfreak. They can poke out, make these defensive cooldowns come out before they take the fight. They have every choice to where they want to engage.
Gotta say, this is potentially looking like that 4-0, but Mindfreak have got really everything that they need, so does Warriors. So here we go, potential final fight. Shatter is kind of blocked by Mindfreak, and Haas is going to try and get in there with the Graviton Surge. It also isn't going to do a whole lot. This might well be the fight win that Mindfreak needs to win the map.
And it is, and again you saw Kiki using that bomb defensively, so Warriors couldn't follow up on the Graviton Surge from Haas, and you saw Modern's Shadow getting marked very well by August. He wasn't going to let that one through at all.
How did they get the touch?
It's going to have to be a very frantic touch situation. Jungle comes in with the beat, and Ness will start the fight.
Yeah, it does. It means Graviton Surge is freed up a little bit more for Addy, but of course, Tung with the Transcendence, not going to be able to get the line of sight on Tororo. Does mean one player down already for Warriors. Haas at least gets the D-Mech back as a trade, but it's maybe not a trade that you'd like to take at this point, especially considering we have an Earth Shatter available for Bus. When does it get thrown out? Well, straight into the ground. Doesn't hit anyone, but is it really going to matter? The damage is there for Mindfreak, and maybe a map win on the board for them against Warriors is available as well, as it does seem finally they're going to be able to have some success. Rialto is Mindfreak's, but it's still a 3-1 season victory for the Warriors today. The map 4 curse persists into week 2. End of the day, though, I think as Warriors, that's a pretty acceptable result. You'll be happy to get the win. Mindfreak might be a bit disappointed, but at the very least, they take something from it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the maps at the start of the season the Warriors would have looked at this matchup and been like, okay, there's potential here for us to lose a few maps, or there's potential for us to lose the series if we're not focused and working hard. It looks like they did work hard. They came out with a lot of, basic standard compositions that they played very well. So good coordination on the side of Mindfreak, though, manages to get them this map. I was very impressed with August on the Sombra this match at the start, and he played some Brig too that was very good. But I guess that's like the only bright spark on the side of Mindfreak. They looked outclassed by this Warriors roster, and we mentioned those individual players before the break, and they kept going on through onto Hollywood and Rialto to an extent too.
Yeah, to an extent as well. Look, not a bad performance across the board. I think from both sides, it was a very competitive series. And when you look at the context of the two teams, I mean, Mindfreak, they came into the season, we weren't really sure exactly where we were going to sit them, but now after seeing a couple of weeks, we're probably putting them in the top 4. Warriors was already always anticipated to be probably even a top 2 team in this season. So I think even a performance like that from Mindfreak today is a respectable result, does reinforce the fact that you would probably expect to see them within the top 4 at the end of the season, especially if the likes of Ground Zero aren't able to kind of get it together and really challenge for a position from maybe Sydney Drop Bears or Warriors, or I guess in this instance I'm talking about Mindfreak, but you know what I mean? Like they have done enough today to make me feel pretty happy with their performances thus far this season, even despite it being a loss.
Yeah, they've given me some confidence in them too. I mean, this Warriors team looks to be pretty scary. We've seen the individual plays from coming out this week, and for Mindfreak to knuckle down and even after going 3-0 down, still find the courage to, give it their all and take that map win, that's good signs from them. It signs their mental is strong, their teamwork is strong. So I expect them and Sydney Drop Bears to be a very close matchup.
Yeah, definitely. For Warriors, I'd probably be leaning toward them a little bit more so this season to take that second spot, just from what we've seen over the last couple of days and couple of weeks. I suppose with the performance of Order as well, I mean, there may be something to be said for maybe Warriors even taking first.
Well, with the way Order played on Sunday, it could be anyone's game. The Warriors will be very happy watching that game. They will find themselves sitting at the top of the ladder now? No, it will be Atletico. I
think it'll be Atletico, but we do still have one more thing to chat about before we get into the end of tonight's broadcast. That is, of course, one more Macca's play of the game. And this Macca's play of the game is, of course, it's going to be Kiki on the Diva.
It really should be, teamwork makes the dream work, and for this Koth point alone, it made the dream work. A 5-man Diva bomb is what you want to see out when you use your EMP. They managed to EMP 6 players, gets the Diva bomb, hits the 6 players, but unfortunately Jungle was just a little bit too far away, so he just escapes. But yeah, that's definitely a highlight reel play, and good teamwork shown out of the side of Mindfreak, and I think that's what's going to be the thing that separates them from teams this season.
Yeah, certainly. Especially if they can kind of try to find some form with different compositions as well, if they can show that adaptability that we've seen from the likes of maybe Atletico, that's also going to be really good to see. But really, I think at the moment what we're seeing is that it's going to boil down to who, again, has the better 3-3 composition at the moment. That obviously in this matchup was Warriors, although Mindfreaks didn't seem like anything necessarily to scoff at. So for any teams that are kind of weaker than Mindfreak, sitting below them on the standings at the moment, you would be feeling a little bit worried about going into that matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I think Mindfreak is going to be a team to watch. I think they're definitely top 4 material. Them and Sydney Dropbears look close as the 3rd, 4th team. Big storylines next week though. Order, will they come back? Was it a 1 week fluke, or are they in a bit of a slump?
Yeah, well, I mean, was it a 1 week fluke? Was it a 2 week fluke? Because
Well, that's it.
they did, sure, they got the win over Sydney Dropbears in week 1, but it wasn't really the win that we expected. We didn't see a 4-0 from them. We haven't seen a 4-0 at all from Order, which is ludicrous to believe because they